Hello, Tri Delta. My name is Sarah Burgamy. I'm a licensed clinical psychologist in Denver, Colorado. And I'm here to talk to you a little bit today about some things that we may all be thinking about experiencing in this current super weirdness that we call the COVID pandemic. You might notice this doesn't look much like a clinical psychologist office, and it's not. This is, for the time being, my home office. So we're all making adjustments. In many cases, you may be hearing people talk a little bit about this is a new normal. We need to accept this as a new normal. As I talk to you today, I'm going to give you 3 different kinds of perspectives on things that are going on right now. And one of them to start with is, I hope you don't think of this as your new normal. This is not normal. Nothing about this is familiar. Most of the time, these little meaning makers in our heads, our brains, they really do a good job of seeking out the familiar things, the things that we can relate to things we've experienced before. Well, folks, we are clearly in a place where we simply cannot do that right now. And because of that, many of us are struggling with that sense of loss of what was normal. I would tell you this is temporary. Everything that's happening right now at some point will change. It will be different. And because of that, I don't want you to adjust to this as your new normal. I want you to think of this as temporary. Not only that, it's going to be hard for your brain to digest this, but I wanted to think of it as temporary the same way you might think of something big that's happened in your life before. Some big event, something major, something that was really hard. And at the time you were in it, you probably thought, I don't know how I'm going to get out of this. I don't know what it's going to be like. I can't think through this. And I'd like you to think about how you think of that event now. And know that someday, that's exactly how we're going to think about this. We're going to look back and think, at the very least, wow, that was really weird. Another thing I'd like you to think about, my second point, is that we're all going through some sense of loss and grief. But instead of this being that straightforward kind of grief, that kind of grief that's really, really difficult, but we sort of know what the stages of grief are. I can pull out my old undergrad textbook and tell you all about the Kubler-Ross's, different stages of grief. I'll let you read that on your own. However, a lot of what we're experiencing now is not what I would call a complete grief. It's difficult to adjust and accept because we're not sure where we're going. So it's what I call incomplete. It's an incomplete loss. Our seniors in high school and college have all of a sudden lost commencement ceremonies, things that nobody before them has really experienced in quite the same way. For many folks, they are adjusting to griefs, losses of loved ones. Our routines, our ways of life, these are those incomplete losses. These are going to be those things that are a little harder to wrap our heads around. And because of that, I'd rather you think of this a little bit like life's backpack. I'm a metaphorical thinker. And most of the experiences we have in life, good or bad, traumatic, they're things that we have to figure out how to put in our backpack and carry with us. We don't ever really shed any of our life's experiences. We take that with us, and it's something that shapes who we are. So, during this time period, you probably already are carrying all your life's experiences, and then this happens. And it adds a really awkward box or bag or something to your backpack or what you're carrying. And now is the time where you're going to need to shift and move some things around and readjust. Third thing, I'd like to give you actually some practical tips. So this is what I call the Mr. Rogers effect. So you're going through your day, and I'm going to guess, folks, that for many of us, those yoga pants, those comfy sweats, maybe you even call them your daytime pajamas, are making a really high rotation in your day-to-day. Well, here's the thing. I'm going to talk about your meaning maker. Your meaning maker understands wearing your comfy clothes all day as really different from your normal, if that's not what you usually wear. It thinks of vacations and breaks and times that are not normal at all. So I would encourage you, literally, change your clothes, what you're doing, create some things that feel familiar to your brain. For me, that's getting up in the morning, taking a shower, putting on work clothes, included a collar. I've got my shoes on when I'm doing my work, even though I'm just in my house. It tells my brain it's work time. When the day is over, I literally change into something comfortable, something that tells my brain it's time to relax. Our brains are used to cutting up the time into these pieces that let us know these are the predictable things in my day. And I promise you that does influence how you feel, however simple it seems. Finally, I'll call it tip 3B. There's a slogan, right, from Nike. It's just do it. My slogan for you all is just do something. I'd like to remind you to be kind and compassionate and generous to yourself and to others during a time that is so strange and, again, temporary. And make use of just the idea that if I just do something that's meaningful to me, or maybe it's about my exercise and I'm too worried about doing a big exercise program, well, just do maybe some stretches, maybe go for a walk. Just do something. You only need to be good enough, folks. It only needs to be that piece right now that'll get us through to another day where we can get back to something that seems more normal. So for now, I'm just going to introduce you to some of my comfy things. After we finish this today, I think I might put this one on, or possibly, even better yet, these college favorites. These are definitely a good Mr. Rogers effect for me. Take care, Tri-Delta, and please check out the podcasts from Tri-Delta. They're there for you. It's Let's Talk Tri-Delta, and there's going to be more tips and wonderful things to share with you as we're all going through this time. Thank you, sisters. It sure was good to talk to you.